connected. All right. There we go. Okay, so we'll want to be logged into our Google My Business listing. If you don't know how to get there, as long as you're logged into your Gmail account, you'll see your little icon on the top right. Click on the waffle and select Google the little blue marketplace for business listing. So last week we set up the Google business listing so that we can claim that right side of the screen. Today we're going to walk through a process that most realtors, majority of realtors are not doing, but it's something when it comes to search engine optimization, the key step you can take, just a small step with your images to really put yourself on the map as a local answer to searches. So we're going to send out those local signals. Again, I know we met last week and some of you have met before. My name's Lacie. I work for a wonderful company called West. We are a nationwide team of marketing and technology professionals who work with realtors and lenders every day in really working on your business strategy, marketing techniques, different technology, and just helping you navigate through that and take your business to the next level to reach those goals that you have in place. And we are a Williston Financial Group company. We're the sister company to WFG National Title. I do have a WFG National Title rep in the back there, Ren, saying hi. Yeah, and so most of you probably know Jackie. We have Ren. We've got different offices throughout Arlington, Southlake, Fort Worth, Grand Prairie, across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So we did show this last week, but just to kind of bring it up again, this is really what the goal is to compete for this Realtors Near Me search. So people who may not know your name, that when they're searching for a realtor in your area, in your target, those target areas that you market to, that you're going to show up in the search results. And what we do today will be a key portion of making this happen for you. And so it's all about SEO, search engine optimization. And that's the process of taking steps to rank higher, right? So that your websites that you really want to stand out are ranking higher than those other third-party sites. And of course, claiming that Google business listing, you're able to direct traffic directly to the website that you want users to go to. And really that Google business listing showing up as a search answer for people who may not know your name. And it relies on more than just keywords. And so oftentimes when we think of SEO, we think of text, we think of the keywords that we use, but there's more to it than that. So this is just a little visual that I have here. Just looking at pictures and like what a picture actually is when it comes to being online. So the main part that we think of or that we see is this visual piece, right? So that's what's popping up on the screen. But there's a couple of other pieces to the images that are key to search results. And so within every image, there's background information. So you can create image descriptions. You can place keywords in them. But also the key part for realtors is location. So pinpointing a place on the map and writing that into a picture. It's just an extra step and will place you on the map. And that process is called geotagging. So geotagging is the process of adding that geographical information. So it's going to be including latitude and longitude on that image. And like I said, it does help the search engines connect that image and a location. And so today we're going to go through 3 steps. One, I always like to get organized. And so we're going to just walk through a little process of setting up your file, making sure that your geotagged images are in one place, accessible, them separately from those that aren't tagged. And then we're going to walk through the steps of implementing the geotagging on images, and then we'll upload a few to your Google business listing so that you can get through those steps. You'll be able to replicate this moving forward and be able to make it a part of your marketing process. And so real quick, if you'll go ahead and go to this website, I do have a guide for you to pull up, to download and keep. Sorry. Is everyone there? We've gotten to it. Okay. Let me get out of here. Okay. So let's get there. All right, and that GMB is just my way of saying Google My Business. So just a side note. But on here, the only thing that we're really going to look at is this click here to download. So we'll go ahead and open up that form. And then we'll do a file download. We want it as a Microsoft Word document because we want this to be editable. This is going to be something that you'll be able to use in the future, copy paste, really use this file. And it also has the steps for everything that we're going to be doing today. So we'll download it as a Word document. I'm going to open it and then file, save as. And we want to, so this will be the first step of organizing our file system. So we want to create a folder in our documents or in your any kind of like marketing folder you might have for geotagged images. So if you need to create a new folder and call it geotagged images, and then we'll save that Word document in that folder.
Can you give us that the website address, please, again?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be this one here, Lacie,
Yeah.
txwest.com/GMBGO.
Thank you.
You want it as a Word. All right, so we're going to do file save as. Oops, wrong one. Geotagged images and save that within that folder. You got it? Okay. All right. So we've got that file here. We're going to keep it open. Within this, the first link we're going to go to, or the link that we're going to go to for the geotagging process is going to be about halfway down the page where it says the step-by-step instructions. And we'll click on this tool here. It's going to be tool.geoimgr.com. And this I recommend saving or bookmarking on your browser. So I prefer to work in Chrome. I'm going to get over here. It's going to be halfway down that Word document. There's a link there. It's in step 1.
So geotagging is one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that Word document. Yeah, when you open that up in your browser, you're going to want to bookmark it just so you have it for future use. All right. So we are at, and we'll keep that Word document open. So we're not going to close it. We'll keep it open because you're going to use it. So we're going to have that Word document and then this tool open for now. And so when you get here, it's going to appear like this. You'll have a map on the left side of the screen and the ability to drop in images here. This tool I like, this is the free version, and that's what we're going to walk through today. You're able to download 5 images per day with the free version. And with the paid version, it's only about $9 a month. And so if you did want to, really get in and geotag multiple images at a time or get that all done, then you could do that. And so just checking that here and let them in. Okay, and so for the images we're going to use today, we're going to want our headshot and then a square version of your logo.
What do you mean by square?
So not a long version. It would be one that you would use similar, like one that you would use in your, like a profile picture or something along those lines.
My logo.
Like the front.
Like your image in a portrait or a landscape, just drop it down to a square.
Okay.
And we can do that in the last step. If there's a portion of it that's good for it, then you'll be just fine.
Is there a picture size, 500, not 500?
No, we'll be okay. So with this, we're going to go ahead and just walk through the process first with your headshot. And so you'll go ahead and click here for your images, navigate to your headshot. So we'll go ahead. Let me try to find one that's not geotagged here. Okay, this one's not. Okay. So we clicked in that blue box.
And it cut my picture off.
That's okay. When it pulled it up in that bottom square.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
okay.
just a preview.
Okay.
You're clicking it in the blue box. Are you in Chrome? Just click once.
Yeah, I did, and then.
Maybe refresh and try clicking. Everyone else is there. We've got our headshot grabbed.
Are you able to edit the photo once it's in there? I know.
Not once it's in here, but you could if you needed to edit it after. You still can, and it's still going to have that data in there.
So even if the picture is not.
So it shows it down. You adjust it.
So this
No, she
preview,
said it didn't matter.
this preview here, it's just a preview of it. It's not actually editing anything about your image.
But it didn't, like first I uploaded my photo, and then I uploaded my logo, but then. when
We
I-
want just the headshot right now.
Okay.
So we're gonna click in that blue box, grab your headshot, and then you'll see a preview of it here. It's not actually editing anything. And if you're not geotagged, it's gonna drop a pin in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. So then that means that image has no geographical data. If it did, so say, when we take pictures with our phones, with our smartphones, depending on your settings, it, is in some, a lot of instances, putting a location to it. But these digital files that we're emailing or that we're getting from photographers, they aren't going to have a location on them. So if it does, if there is a location to it, it'll put you on the map. But if not, you're most likely here with me in the Atlantic Ocean. With this free version, we're not able to use the address field, but we can double click our way to Fort Worth, Arlington. I'm sorry? Yeah, I know, right? I want to go somewhere
You're
beautiful.
competent there.
And so I just double click my way to the area I want to be in. With this, and so looking at your business strategy, looking at your locations on the map, I typically recommend having 5 or 6 key target areas, right? That you're going to win over. You're going to have multiple images in different communities. So looking at and I'm just going to use Fort Worth here. But say I have, in Fort Worth, this might be one of my, target areas that I'm marketing to that I want to win over. I might have another one here in River Oaks, one in this area, but looking at about 5 or 6 areas that we're going to cluster images. Okay, so each image will have a location. You have 100 images. Think of your Instagram or your Facebook, the images that you have, right? If each one, you go through the step of geotagging, 100 images, and I have 5 locations that I'm targeting, then I would have 20 images that have a certain area, on the map. So I would have 20 images that are here once I'm through that 100 images. Does that make
So do
sense?
you need to specifically remember like 32.86?
No, not the exact latitude and longitude, but just cluster.
So Lacie, I got curious on this, if you're doing it to write down, you kind of got Fort Worth there, but you also encompass Holcomb City. So my question is exactly what you just did, how we double clicked in. Is there a best practice on how far to zoom in? Is it when you geotag something, can you get as deep into a neighborhood?
You could get to a specific address. I say just kind of be in the center of it. So double click your way into, say that this is, really a neighborhood or community that I want to be in. I would want to drop my pin, right in the middle of it. And you could double click your way all the way to a street name or a house, but really just kind of putting yourself in the middle. And you don't have to have the exact latitude and longitude, but you want to be in that same area on the map. So, I've had some where I'll take a picture of the Google map and you really just mark your pin on it so that when you come back to drop those in that area. Does that make sense? Because we want you to be the answer in those areas, especially those that you might be marketing to, that you show up.
But you can put more than one, geotag, like with this photo? Can you put more than one pin?
No, each image will have one location.
Oh,
And so the key is going through this process with different images, having a gallery, and each of those images doing the work for you. So the more images you go through,
As we add photos.
yeah, and this is over time. So you might do 10 a week, 10 a week or so. Get in there, a couple days a week. Get in there. This would take 5 minutes to go through.
And the more you geotag in a certain area, the more prominent you kind of become in an area. So keep in mind, depending on where you want to be, it's going to be the something. I'm sorry. I'm doing this one more of Abilene, Texas, and obviously I've been there. Now I've been before geotagging was a thing, right? So I don't want to be that. But let's say we wanted to be the king or queen of Highland Park. Okay.
There we go.
Probably not.
King or
the
queen sounds
only-
better, I like
only agent, right? That's geotagging images in Highland Park, Texas. Okay, which means if you're in there with one picture that's geotagged on there, and there's somebody else who's been there for the last several years that pretty understands SEO and what people in my business can do for them, and they've geotagged 100 images in that same area, you're not going to be as prominent as they are, correct? That takes you time to kind of do that. And one thing that Google, like they said, y'all in the ferry a couple weeks ago, is don't go in there right now and go do 100 images today,
Right.
because they'll shut it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go black. Yeah.
Because
This is gonna be over time.
It doesn't feel like you're a legitimate thing. It's kind of saying, hey, you're flooding that market too fast, whatever it is. That's not what Google My Business is.
So how many a day, like?
I typically recommend about 10 a week, but I think of it as your social media, kind of like you would your social media. It's kind of the mindset I want to put it in. That way, it's just something you check into at least once a week, maybe twice a week, that you're adding to it little by little. So whether it's, like Marketing Mondays, that's kind of my thing, and Eminem. But, just making it a part, it's a 5-minute, 10-minute tops if you have to decide what images to use.
Let's say you're at a location and you're taking a picture there, you should go ahead and just use that location. You couldn't take it and drop it somewhere else.
Up to you. I mean, if you have a really great picture and you were in California,
Well, I mean, like if you're
you want to move it.
question, hey, we're at this new opening of blah, 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 and you're trying to, and it's local in your area, you shouldn't go take it.
You don't have to do it for every image, and you could run it through this just to make sure it's tag. So if you drop it on the map, you don't have to worry about downloading it, just use that image. So it's nice, kind of double check.
Like you're doing your phone.
Yeah,
Right.
so check our phone, make sure that we're getting that location on our phone, because I think there's settings to adjust on that, make
Yes.
sure it's on.
Yes,
And then if we take a picture of the new restaurant, then we can upload that and it'll tag it.
Or should we? do
It'll
it
have
from
it
the
written.
phone?
You know what I'm saying, do the phone, like upload it.
When we upload
So
it
you
from our phones, we get it.
It automatically.
yeah, you should. And so once you change your location services or, on your phone to see, make sure it is writing in that data, then you might take a couple in different places, run it through just to make sure that it's accurate. And then if it is, then you know that those images moving forward on your phone would already be tagged and you wouldn't need to change it.
And it has the tag in there, it'll drop it where it's supposed to be on the map.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll pull up. So if I had used a geotagged image and dropped it in here, it would have in this existing geotags a latitude and longitude, and it would show me exactly on the map where it is. So we'll go ahead and get this written in. So I've chosen my place on the map. I'm right in the center of this neighborhood. I want to win this area over. It's one of my key 5 or 6 areas that I'm, really targeting. And it's going to put in this new geotag field here, the latitude and longitude of that pin. And I also have 2 additional fields here that we want to make good use of. Okay, so I've got an option to input keywords and tags, and then an option to write in an image description. So if we open up that Word document, that guide that you have open, and scroll down towards the bottom, I've started just a template for you to work off of there. So these will be something that you can write at once. You don't have to think through it every time, your keywords and tags. So we'll do it now, get it ready, and then you'll be able to just copy and paste this in the future. So I have on here, they can be an individual word, comma, or it can be individual word, comma, short phrase, homes for sale. Think of things that people are searching if they're looking for your services. Comma, and then you can do short, word and short phrase. So we'll go ahead and fill in that last half there. We also want to include your name in here. So I'm going to fill in mine, comma, I'm with front.
Do you want it, your name first or in the middle, or does it have order of anything?
And then remember those, 5 target locations, or if we want to put in neighborhoods. I don't want to put in that, not valid. Let's see. Real estate. You can, even if you have a high competitor, this is an option to include keywords with their name in there as well. No one's going to see this.
If you have a competitor,
You could put their name in here as well to compete. So if there's someone that's really marketing to that area that you're working to win over,
Something that pulls us with them.
it's just to compete. You're to compete with them.
all the realtors
Well,
will
wait, people like kind of take share of some of their marketing.
We want to, yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
You know?
That way you're competing. Whenever someone searches their name, your face might show up, or your closing picture, or your, why not? And then they can click on that and find you.
It's
So
great as long as you don't teach this to anybody else.
it's just a little side nugget. I only teach for front. It's just, I am the front SEO
Should you
teacher.
put the city name and the county?
I don't know that people aren't typically searching by county when they're doing it. So we want to think of, what they're looking for. It might be certain neighborhoods and also your niche. So if you are specifically or wanting more luxury listings, say you're a luxury agent, you would include luxury homes here.
How many words can you put in here?
I haven't reached the max yet. I feel like it's 20 is typically what we shoot for to be the max. You could, let's see if it gives us a, It's not allowing. Thought maybe it would give me more information. We'll go ahead and get that filled out. Again, this is something, so you've got this Word document saved. After you get those keywords written, we want to just save that Word document at the top so we don't lose any of our work. Location. We'll do neighborhood, wherever you want
You
to
could put a
be.
zip code in there if you wanted to target it.
You could, but people aren't searching for by zip code. So we want this to be the words people are using in a Google search. The zip code really is going to be the location part that we put you in.
They're not searching by.
People don't typically search for realtor by zip code. So if I'm
Well, they
looking
do
for,
search about for home, but not.
right, well, they might search for, you know, a city or a certain neighborhood name is more common than them searching for homes for sale in 76107.
So if I put Zillow in there.
You could. It's a big giant to kind of go after. So it'd be a little bit, I don't know that it's going to have as much power as you putting in maybe someone who's another realtor or another like a brokerage name. Zillow
Open door.
is such a big giant. They're going to have more presence online to compete with.
But I could put the name of the agent that seems to be on all the houses. Right.
Yep, absolutely. And their brokerage. Just so you compete for that. I haven't met it, so I don't know. Typically, I would say 20. We don't want to come across as spammy, so I would say don't like overload it. But things that make sense for your business and your competition.
So should these questions that we're asking, like other realtors, locations, they should vary?
It could, yeah. So
I mean,
that
like-
one cluster, you could say this is location one. So whether that's a certain community, and then copy this and make one for location two.
Okay, yes.
That makes sense for that, that area.
Okay, thank you.
But for today's purposes, and then you'll want to just only copy, of course. So we'll go ahead, just save that Word document, and you can, this will be in your files. You can come back and perfect it for yourself. But for today, we'll go ahead and hit save at the top and get that saved in your computer. And we're going to copy those keywords that we wrote in. Go to that keywords and tags field on the geotag tool and paste them there. And then that's that.
Like, are there any specific keywords or terms that will put you in risk of Google? Can you just whatever you want to?
No, yeah, you could put whatever. It's not really gonna affect your, it just may, you know, if you come across as too spammy, it can affect whether or not that image shows up. It's not gonna put you in any kind of jail, Google jail, anything like that. But the power of the image may lose its integrity.
So would you recommend, I know you said we could put realtors' names in there, competitors, but would you recommend also names of brokerages?
Yeah, so I would say, I wouldn't do,
Whatever.
you know, a lot of name. I would say if there's one key player in that area, their name and their brokerage,
Okay.
as two separate. So the name, comma, brokerage, comma.
So we can go in and edit this in the future.
So that's what we're saving the Word document for it to be yours. And then it's just nice to have it to copy and paste from.
I just wanted to make sure if I go over the.
Yeah, but you have to think through it all the time. Yeah, we don't want
Let me kind of say something on that with Natalie. Is, let's say you have images and over time you've got 100 images, whatever it is on there. Or maybe 1 year, that you're kind of looking, you're doing some stuff on the side over here on Google, those key terms, and you're not finding yourself anywhere. You're like, hey, maybe that's not working. Maybe those terms or the keywords in that image are not doing what I thought they would do, and you go back in, edit, you could go back into that geotag, would you want to change that, or would you want to just add another image and try different keywords in that thing?
So you could do it a couple ways. We think of the images or the photos that are going to be in that Google business listing as more of like a gallery, right? So it's a gallery of images. And if we have hundreds of them, people aren't going to click through all of them. They're not.
Right.
So at some point, that image that was, a couple months ago, it's now 50 images down on your gallery. You could recirculate. You can recirculate some images. And if it made sense to upload it back to the tool, edit that information. So then we're saying this new copy is with these keywords and terms, these descriptions, and then recirculate it. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste in those keywords and tags. And then the next part here is for an image description. This is going to be more of a sentence format, so not the comma word. This is just going to be a basic description of the image. So I like to have, these are 3 different options kind of just set up for you to copy paste from. We do want to include your name. We want to include the word realtor and your location. And respectfully, I'll remove Dallas. And so we've got, we're just going to get that off here.
Okay, so now, yeah, I heard him, thank you. I'm a Dallas fan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would I put Dallas or would I put like Rockwall?
If you could put, best realtor in Rockwall and Dallas County, even, in Dallas, Texas. We don't want to keep this too long. We don't want to come across spammy. We want it to be somewhat relative to the image. That's why I have 3 options here. So if it's a picture of faces of you, I say choose the first one. If it's a picture of, maybe clothing or a home, a house image, you might choose the second or the third one, and you can circulate through them. It's not going to matter too much, but again, we just don't want to come across as appearing for that image to be seen.
No one sees this.
No one sees this. Yeah. Unless they download the image and then look in the back end information, they'll be able to find it. But I don't suspect that anyone's going to do that.
Yeah, I don't even really know what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah, I could find out if I wanted to see what was written in images, but yeah, other people aren't doing it. So we're going to go ahead and edit that first one, put your name in there. And then we'll grab that image description. So go ahead and copy it. And then we'll paste it into that alternative text here. With that, if the image doesn't load, the alternative text might. Doesn't typically happen on search, but there is that. That's what the alternative text is there for. So if someone can't see the picture, they can see what the picture is of. That makes sense.
Yeah. Instead of it saying like no image available, it would say
Right.
Natalie Reds.
It'll give you that little icon and it'll say what it was.
Can you show us like one of yours, like do a Google search and show us how this comes out?
It won't appear any different than any image online.
But if they're in a Google search, they would have to be under images.
No, and I'll show you once we get through it. I think it'll make sense. I'll show you once we get there. So we've got those keywords and tags dropped in. We dropped in that image description. We have the new geotag field now specific to the area on the map. We're going to click the first blue button, which is that right EXIF tags. We're going to click the second blue button for download.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
What?
First blue button,
Okay.
and it'll pop up a little green thing there, and then we'll click the second blue button to download it.
Highlight all this.
So you did, this is your keyword. Yeah, or you already did that.
And once you do that, it will pop, your image will show up in the your browser here. And now this is the geotagged image. This has the data in it. So we want to save that image.
Okay, this is gonna be different on an iPad, but not mine.
Oh, okay, then it would be in your downloads folder
Yeah.
of your iPad. And then you would open it, and then we'll do the file save as or move to. File move to.
Save it as a file.
It'll be under the file tab
Right.
and then move to.
Should I do that on?
On a Mac?
Yeah. so
Yeah.
move to what then?
It'll be file, move to, and we're gonna put that in the geotagged, the geotagged images folder.
And then we're saving that download to that folder.
We're saving it in that folder. That way you know that this photo's already been tagged. This one's good to use. It's gonna be one of your ones that go to work for you.
Okay.
They're not on our Google My Business thing yet. They're just
Right.
geotagged.
So we're just saving it to a folder so we know which ones to use. Are you on a Mac? It's gonna be file, move to. You'll go to other at the bottom and then find that folder that you created. Are you with the saving it? Okay, so it'd be when you open that image, when it downloaded, did you click on it at the bottom of your browser?
No, I guess that's what I can't find.
Oh, okay. Are you on Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay, are you on your browser? So on here, at the bottom of your like bar here, it should see when I download this, it's going to pop up right here. Did it pull up down there? If not, you can go to your folders tab and there's a folder for downloads. And it would be the first one at the top of your downloads folder. And you'll want to open that, just click on it to open that image. Did you find it?
Not yet.
Okay. If you go to your folders, like the folders tab at the bottom of your computer,
Okay.
and then on the left, there should be a downloads. And it'll be the first file on there, should be it. So you want to open it up? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, same name and everything. So open it up and then do file, save as. And then you'll save that to that geotagged folder, geotagged image folder. Okay. So now, within that geotagged images folder, you should have the, let me go back to it. Within that geotagged images folder, you should have that Word document for that we're working on, and you should have that one image that we've geotagged. And so we will go to our Google business listing and just see what it looks like to upload that. So in a new tab, I have a lot of tabs open. Let's see. We'll go to our browser here. And of course, the easiest way to get to your Google business listing, if you're logged in, will be that little waffle right by your profile picture there. And we'll click on the My Business, the blue My Business. If not, you can go google.com/business.
Will it let us upload a photo even though we haven't gotten our verification?
Yeah, so this class was designed knowing that you may not have it yet.
Delete photos we've already put in there.
Yes, you have to click on the individual photo, and then there's a trash can in the top right for you to delete those. And so when we get to our Google business dashboard, all of our menu items are here on the left. And you may not have some of these if you're not verified, but you will have the option for the Photos tab, and that's what we're going to click on. Right. And if you have no photos in there, which if we set it up last week, you probably don't, we want to think headshot equals cover. Okay, so it's going to have an option there, probably a blue button up here for add cover photo. And we want to click on that to upload a cover, that geotagged headshot. And if you already have a headshot on there, yeah, cover, the second one. Then it's okay to keep it, or you can replace it with this new geotagged one.
So you recommend just this one being?
The headshot is your cover, yes. So I would, if it were me, I would replace that image, your headshot, to have it be the geotagged image. So you'll click on it to set your cover.
Hey,
and then
Lacie.
we will- Yes.
I'm sorry. When I went to my Google screen, it did not have a My Business icon.
This waffle did not.
Here.
Are you logged into the same Gmail that you used to set up your Google My Business?
I'm already logged into all kinds of Google or Google Gmails.
Okay, so you are in the correct Gmail account that you set it up with?
Oh, that I don't know.
Okay, if you click on your profile picture here, you'll just make sure you're in the correct account. And then another way to check would just be typing in google.com/business. So type in that address. And then you'll click on manage now.
Go back in and do a different.
And then if it pulls up your Google business listing, then you're in the right account. If it doesn't, then you probably need to switch your Gmail account. Uh-huh.
And then I was
Okay.
and then we're just gonna-
It's cover. Yeah, and then you'll click to set the cover. Sorry, and I didn't see who was talking online. Did you get that? Did you get logged in okay?
No. I've got
Is it the wrong one?
several Gmail accounts. So what? I just open them all up.
Okay, yeah, then you'll want to click on your profile picture here and switch over to the other Gmail account you think it might be in. And if you've set it up under that, it should show up under your Google Apps here. But you'll want to switch accounts first here. In that, so we select the ad cover and we're going to go ahead and grab that picture from our computer, the one that's in that geotagged images folder, and get that dropped in. Okay, I'm not going to change mine, but you would hit set or open and then set cover. All right, so now you have your first image on there that's going to start doing the work for you. So now you have your first image that has the location in it. Probably here in the next 10 minutes when we're done, you might see that you've had a few views. So it's kind of interesting.
So we're not gonna do anything with the box that creative posts to start updates and offers.
No, not right now. Okay, so we just want to go through the process. Let's go through it one more time just to kind of get the feel for it. It should be easier the second time around just to upload, copy paste, and download that image. So we'll go back to that tool that we have open here. We're going to select our logo. If you don't have a square one, just select the one that you have for today's purposes, and then we can find you another one next time. So we'll click on the blue box here. You don't have to clear anything out, and it will keep you in Fort Worth or keep you wherever you set your pin on the map. So we'll go ahead and select our second image. That's okay. We're just going through the process again. So we'll go back to the tab for the tool. It's the tool.goimgr.com. And we're going to select our logo. Yeah. If you don't have a square one for today, that's okay. We'll just go ahead and a long one. Okay. Select the one you've got, and then we'll click open, get that dropped in here. It will keep you, if it's not tagged, it'll keep you in the same place on the map. Of course, we want to spread ourselves between those 5 or 6 key target areas.
So you want your logo to be in a different.
Yeah. So we'll pick the next area on the map that we want to take over and get that set here. Okay. So we've got that new location. We're going to open up that Word document and grab those keywords that we had written out. We'll copy it,
Yeah.
paste it into the keywords and tags,
Okay.
and then grab an image description and place it in that description. We'll paste it there.
Hey, Lacie,
Yes.
Evan, again, I got a question. Why do you have to pick a different picture? Why can't you have the same picture, but a different location on the map?
So when you upload them to your Google business listing, there's that visual aspect, right? So what it's going to appear when people click through your images. And we don't want to have, just like if you were to pull up someone's Instagram, if they had the same image 50 times, it wouldn't make sense. And so we want an individual location for each of the images that we upload to the Google business listing. Because it's going to be written into that file, just one time for each image. Does that make sense?
Oh, no. I mean, we have one picture, we have one front realty picture. So that's 2 max. We're going to have multiple locations.
You're going to have, so in your gallery here, as you upload different images, so you might think of, images at closing, you might think of images while you're out doing the same things you would post to a social media platform that are going to fill up this gallery on your Google business listing, that each of those will have a location set to them.
Okay. But technically, we can still have the same image for every location. Because you're geotagging it.
You wouldn't want to use the same image more than once unless it's over, it's been a period of time, like a long period of time since you uploaded it.
So I lost my logo thing. Like it just says cover, but I can't figure out how to put that in as an actual logo.
Your cover should be your headshot.
Cover is my headshot.
Okay.
But instead of giving logo as another option at the top, it just says cover again.
Oh, you're gonna refresh it. You may even have to log out and log back in for that if it's not showing up for some reason. Yeah. So we'll go ahead. We've got the logo dropped in. It'll show you the preview here. We've picked a new place on the map, dropped in those keywords and tags.
Now, can you change the keywords and tags?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I would recommend changing it on your Word document, having different options.
Yes,
And that way you're not rewriting it every time. An image description, get that in here. And then we're going to click on the right EXIF tag. So first blue button, it's going to pop up a green box. And then second blue button for download. And we will open up that image here. It'll pop up in the bottom of likely. I'll open that up. And if you're on a PC, you'll do file save as. If you're on Mac, it's going to be file move to.
You just, yeah, keep track.
And then we'll select that folder that we have for the geotagged images. So now in your geotagged images folder, you have a headshot, you have a logo, and that Word document. And then we will go to the tab for our Google My Business listing. And if you don't have a logo set, it should have an option up here for you. And you'll click on the set logo, the blue button for that. If you already have a logo set, you will just click on the pencil over your logo to change it to the geotagged logo that we have.
It doesn't fit.
So because it's not a square format, you'll have to crop the area of your logo that looks best in a square. Because where this is going to show up, and I'll show you here.
But once you drag the corners out to make the box bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it maxed it out and my logo still won't fit in there.
So it's going to show up in this little bitty circle. It's where that logo is going to be. We want it to be, as clear as possible.
What it actually looks like.
If you're verified, You can, are you? Okay, so you'll go to your info tab. And then on search. It's gonna be the third one down on your Google My Business dashboard.
Oh, okay. And then.
So
That is what I'm
yours,
gonna get.
yes, it's gonna be a square format. You might go wider than the format, go bigger.
Okay.
And then yeah, can you drop the bottom corner too? Yeah, so you would, you know, ideally in the future maybe edit it some, but that'll probably be the best looking for now. People aren't gonna be able to read that small text anyway, so as long as it looks like your brand on there, that's what I would go with.
Okay. So should I go this one here? Resize my image so that. 'cause I'm
Ideally,
not
you
part of
want-
my business.
You're gonna want it in a square, that is the center part of that is, you know, good, able to read image there. Just like,
We can come back and change.
yeah, and you can come back and change it, but see on here, mine's right here. And that's, that big logo I had is pulling up that small font search. So, yeah, you would edit it into a square image.
You may want to use just the front logo or just a part of your.
I typically do JPEG, but it really, for this, either one is fine.
Yeah,
It's not gonna.
well, what I was thinking is maybe, the theater cut off part of the house.
You might drop it in Canva.
Huh.
If you have Canva, I would say,
Canva,
or a photo editor there.
You can get Canva if you don't have it.
Open the photo.
Yeah, it's free.
The
Yes.
geotag one?
Like the other day, we had to wait for it to kind of approve something for it to come up. Is that the same with our?
It'll take, yeah, it'll take maybe an hour or two sometimes. I'm impatient.
My logo, but it's.
Yes, that's common.
Okay.
It might even take, it might say that it's pending. It could take up to a couple days for just the cover photo to say. But that's really the process, guys. So it's gonna be, save that Word document with those keywords.
So I just pulled mine up. It says areas served, Arlington and nearby areas, because we're talking Arlington right now.
Yes.
Like if I'm searching from Arlington, when I get home, if I do this, it'll say Keller and.
Right, so that's why we want to, you know, when we set those service areas, to set those blanket, like the county, because there's pocket cities, like if we were in Pantego and you didn't have Tarrant County, but you had Arlington, you wouldn't show up on the search. And so that's why we want to set that for the service areas, the blanket, and then, yeah, it's going to show up different depending on where you are. So
And also, I noticed stuff, I think, talking to my husband on the way home, we
Mhm.
were talking about our stuff, trying to figure it out, and it also depends on what you're logged in on in your Chrome, as to what pulls when you. I think from mine, I get different results, so when he gets, when he Googles us or.
yeah, it can vary a little bit, and that's why we want to cover all the different pieces that we can for search engine optimization. And I want to show you one extra, or like the next step for you. So we've got our cover photo set and we have our logo set. So those are the pieces that are going to show up first on search, right? Those are going to be the visual for your brand. So you're going to have your headshot set, you have your logo set. It'll take a couple days, or if you're not verified, once you're verified, it'll start to populate or show up there. But for future photos, and we want to think of this as a gallery, and I keep referring to our social media because people say, I don't know what to put on my Google My Business listing. Really, people aren't going to click through all your images. I just say get in there and upload 5 to 10 a week would be ideal that you're uploading to your Google Business listing. And these are, think of things that you would post on social. These might be closing photos. These might be you just with your team. These might be branded images that you have. I say steer away from anything with too much text on the image or prices. We don't want prices listed on any images in this, okay? But for that, for any future photos, so as you go through this process, you geotag, you write in those terms there, save it to that geotagged images folder, and it should get pretty full where you're able to use these images online. But to upload more, you'll come into your Google My Business listing under photos, and it's the sneaky little blue button up there in the top right. Okay, so all future images, now that your cover and your logo are set, will be this blue button here. And you'll just click on it, select the photos. So say I just did 5 and I want to upload all 5 of those at the same time. I can, hold down the shift key. So, click on it or control and click on each one, get those and click open. It's going to drop those into my Google Business Gallery. Okay. And so if I were to do that twice a week, 5 images each time, I'd have 10 images that week. And each of those are tagged to my target areas and they're all going to work for me. Does that make sense? So just that sneaky blue button up there.
Okay, so now.
Okay, apparently I loaded more than 5 in the last few minutes.
Oh, it's cut you off.
Yeah.
Good. So you're geotagging. That's good.
No, I'm not trying to. So it's not gonna let me do anything else.
Yeah. So you could go to your desktop later if you have one at home and use it and then get some done, or tomorrow morning, get in and do some more. And it's per day. Yeah, per day. All right. Well, happy geotagging, everyone. Yes.
Do your geotag, like, how do you know if it's on there? Like, are there pinpoints on a map where you've done stuff, it just is embedded in?
It's in the background of the image.
Okay.
For me on a Mac, I can see, let me go back to, not that. Let me see here. So for on a Mac, I can see it. Another way for you to test it if you are not on a Mac would be to upload it to the tool and you could see if it's a tagged image. So we do want to keep it in that geotagged image folder so we know it's done. But for mine on a Mac, I can, because I have my information here. If I scroll down, I have latitude and longitude. I'm on a Mac. Are you on a? Okay. So I just went to the my Finder. So my files here you would go into your geotagged images folder and then scroll or click on the image itself to do the preview here. And as I scroll down, I can see that I have latitude and longitude written in. In the properties of your image too on a PC, you can find it. I just say the easiest way is to upload it to that tool. It's not going to go against your 5 per day if you upload something and don't download an image.
So I have an image that I just, like a smaller logo that I just tried to use,
Mhm.
but apparently it's not a JPEG.
Like a SVG or something. Yeah, you'll want to save it to the correct format.
If you upload an image and don't, or download an image and you don't like it. I would leave it.
Oh, like to your Google Business, you have one? Yeah. Oh, in the tool. Yeah. So if you click that download button, that's one of your files. Otherwise, you can upload to it. But I would, so just for process, purposes, if it were me, I would create a folder on my computer that's, images to use or images to tag, something that's as you get images that you want to use, put them in a folder. And that way, when you go to geotag, you're not looking for images. You can just grab it one from there, put it in, save it to your geotagged, and you can delete it from that folder. That to me is, because I have to have systems, that to me makes the most sense. But really, it could be any images.
So I just put a picture of a house that I sold and it's on I put my main location or Keller. Should I attach the location of this house to Keller or should I put it in Arlington?
You could, it's up to you. With that, I say have clusters in those main areas. But if it is,
Pictures of us at things like this. and
Right.
post some features, but having
They'll be Arlington.
would be so.
Yeah, yeah. So I would, it's still okay to have different ones in different places, but you want your main clusters to be your target area. All right. Well, happy geotagging, everyone. Hope you have fun with it. It is interesting to see, in this Google business listing, you do have insights once you're verified to be able to see what traffic you're getting and what's working and what's not. So within your Insights tab, you can see, you know, what.
If someone's searching for me, what would they see?
Says suspended. Let's see.
I just put in my verification code this morning and then uploaded my headshot. And so I haven't done anything else.
The main reason I see this would be your business description. In here. Okay, so is your business description, you have a portion of your bio. Is that also on a link that you provided? Okay, because that's a reason it's sending it to verify. Google does, the AI, backend is trying to make sure that your business is actually who you say you are, and so if that's the link that you're providing. It'll be open.
All right. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all be good. See you. See you next week.